Hey folks, that was weird. So I was trying to align my windows to the right locations, and it did not like that. It sent my stream off to the Shadow Realm. It was very weird. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not even on Windows 10 yet, so okay, sure. Focus for today is we are going through, and I've done a bit of work splitting out the loading structure for the various parts of the game that we're loading, so that they're all in their nice smaller sections. As you can see, this is much easier to read than that previous class that I had shown you, and I feel like if it's hard to read and I can't do unit testing, then what's even the point? So we're going to do that right now, actually. And frankly, time waste, but whatever. You have those sometimes. Here's what we got so far of consolidating things. We can load the rooms. We can load the cats. You'll notice they're not going into the rooms, but they do actually have their... In the actual JSON, they have the data, so we'll be... Where do they... Did these ones save? Oh, I hadn't assigned them to rooms yet. Right. Let's do that right now. So we will go over to the room editor, give it a lock. We're gonna select just some room. In the bottom Moosecat, hit attach. And we'll select this room, move up one, attach. Select this room, move up one, attach. And yeah, it is, this easy now, which is good. And it's using all the same code that we've normally used. As you can see, we're going through the attach section. And now, when we hit save, and we actually unlock the thing, we find that the Moosecats are... Okay, so their data is not currently being saved. So I just need to go fix that, which is happening... Is it in the room editor? Let's double check. Basically, what we've changed is there was cyclical data where A was referencing B and B was referencing A, and I've tried to cut all that out. Because I see that that's going to give me big sads over time. So, we don't need that there. What we need here is position equals selected room, current room dot value dot position. That should be the same value, are they not? Vector to int. Is there update set? Have I not made a function yet? I haven't, so we'll just go in and we'll look. Hello, John. You missed some assembly definition madness a few minutes ago where everything came crashing down, so I gotta go back and rewatch the videos to remind myself how to do that. Because clearly I have forgotten. Okay, so we have... Right. We've got the add data, which is done. We don't need to worry about that. We can actually... We're gonna get rid of this for now because we're not using it yet, so... One of my mentality changes is I was for a while adding functions just because I knew I would need them eventually, but I find that it's better to just get rid of them and add them as I need them so that I have the context for what I'm doing and what I need. As you know, that's important. So we've got assigned to adventure, public void set position. And this is going to take in a vector to int. And then from here, this dot position equals position. Oh, that's fine. Have fun shooting them bad guys or whatever you crazy kids play these days. Is that what I'm calling here? Is room position? That is technically true. set room position. Anywho, I stream every day anyways now at this point, so I will see you at some other time. Oh! Yeah, go get you some Diablo. You too, man. See you tomorrow. What game is this song from? Oh, of course, I should have known it was Persona. As a vector to int. This sets our room position. And again, we're trying to have single functions do single jobs and sort of keep a process as we go along and knowing where things are being edited and sort of keeping it thoughtful. Yeah, where were we? Here. Okay. So now, when we make those cats... And we'll just load the room data, because we already know the room data is fine. We'll make 3 cats. Go down to our room editor, lock that bad boy. Select a room at random. Realize that our cat field needs to actually be cleared. Of course, this is Sonic music. That's funny. Clear the Moosecat data. And go back to our room editor. Lock that bad boy. Or actually, we need to lock it after we load the room. And this particular annoyance is something that only exists in the inspector, so it's not a big deal. So, we will select this room, bottom cat, next room, next cat, next room, next cat, and then when we check their data in the Moosecat data, we can see that their room positions have been updated properly, and we'll go in, we'll hit save. We can see that their positions have been updated properly. Close and reopen. And so now we test the room data. All works. Cat data does not, but that is because that is not part of the load process here. That's going to be in a separate class. And so from there, we can check the data and see that it is being loaded correctly now. And then adventure data, we don't actually have much going on for that right now, but let's look real quick. So if we go and look at our adventures data, we can see this got 5, 0. We'll just adjust this down to 0 to be sure that something's happening here, if anything. And we will adventure data, we will load. We don't see any errors here. We don't see any values change here, but we also haven't... I don't know if we've actually finished that yet, because that's something I was working on before we did this. So, adventure to update. Yeah, it should have worked, actually. Hold on. Oh! Well, the progress is right, but the other ones... So let's save this real quick. We'll say 5, 2, 10, and 1. Close and reopen. Don't actually need to load the rooms or the cats for this part, but... Okay, so we see that the party count is updating, but the progress isn't. So we can fix... Whoa. Pause that bad boy. What game is that attached to? I'm gonna find out real quick. Mafia 2. Okay, so if you are somebody who is playing through just an absolute butt ton of video game music. Watch out for Mafia 2, because that is guaranteed to have some copyright protected musico. Because I'm seeing a lot of names of people that I recognize. But hey, now I know. Right, so progress is not updating. Let us find out why. Look here, and that is correct. So this field is not updating. And when we look at this, we do see that the value is there. Now we just need to do a breakpoint. And we are going to close everything but this. And we're just going to do a breakpoint here. We're effectively doing what I would have done in the unit test had things not gone sideways. But that's fine. So we're just going to load it again because it's harmless to do so, assuming it lets us. This one's a gamble. We'll see if this is a dangerous song or not. Okay, so we have our adventure data, which is coming in from the data structure here. We go and look at it. We've got two fields, 2 and 5, and 1 and 10. And so then the data that is being passed through here is the... the 2 and 5, because it's the first one. So then that is probably being... Yeah, okay. I zigged when I should have zagged. This is passing as value and not reference. Pretty sure. But no, that wouldn't make sense at all because we saw it in the... Wait a minute. No, I know what's going on here. Okay, so it isn't working, and I'll tell you where I goofed. Right here. It's because reset progress is happening. And we can see that is in the init function, which is happening just because of the editor. So we're actually going to just change this to reset. Reset. Progress. That's a long song. So what we're going to do is first be confused that it didn't pass by reference. That's a surprise to me because it is a class, and so it should have. So this should be... And it is getting the data. It is initting the correct object. Why am I updating status progress? Party count equals adventure data dot party count. Oh, hold on here. I think we just broke it wide open, so to speak. We're passing through the adventure data, and as we can see here, party max is part of the... Right, no, that's not. We didn't break anything open. We're good. So that takes care of progress. And we will save this for a moment, go try again. right. So we see that the values are all correct, which is good. Go here. We see that they're not updating, obviously, which is bad. And then we ask ourselves, why? And like usual, it will be really obvious in hindsight once it clicks. El Tacho. I appreciate that I can just keep doing this without ceasing the game running. It's very helpful. So we've got the adventure to update, which is Into the Great Woods, which is currently set to 0s. And then we have the data to update it with, which has got the 2 and the 5. And then the next one to update is the debug adventure. And again, that's good. And we've got our 2 adventures, and they're both at 0, 0. Okay. So that would be the issue. So for whatever reason, it may be because they're scriptable objects. We can't simply pass the constructor through like that. Which is news to me, but I mean, it's not the weirdest thing in the world, I suppose. So what we can do is, instead of it being constructor, we're going to try public void load adventure data. And we're going to try this and see if that works. And if it does, cool, we learned something new today about these objects. And I'll still be confused, but as long as you can keep moving forward, who cares, right? Hey, what you complain about? Right. That makes sense. Because once this one is done, we can move on to the next 2 steps, and then we'll be done for the night, which will be cool. We don't even have to play in order to actually test this, but... Okay, and go look. There we go. Alright, so we learned something new. We cannot use constructors like that for scriptable objects. I'm gonna bank that in the brain, and move forward. So now room loading works. Moosecat loading works, except for putting them in their actual rooms, but that is the next step. So for the load process, we've got the data loader for just loading the Moosecats, and then we would want to do some sort of Moosecat data status updater, and then you'd have a different updater for each of the different status types. Like one would be for or Moosecat integration, something like that. And so that one would be for putting it in the rooms, and another would be for, do I even need to put it in adventures? Maybe getting the adventure assignments correctly done, because I think, yeah, we currently have it, the name, so that you can find it by, oh, my brain. The name so you can find it by string lookup, because obviously the scriptable object doesn't exist when you are serializing out. Okay, so we will just make a object and we'll go from there. Moosecat data room. Sure, that works for me. And that's going to go into our load systems folder. And this will probably branch off of some sort of connector subclass once I get it done. And we'll go in here, and there's a few things we need, which is the Moosecat data and the room data. Okay. Give those a little bit of an assignment. And then you may have noticed earlier, if I didn't cut it, that I have the code for it from when I did it before. Void run. We could probably actually we'll call it connect, because I have a feeling this is going to become virtual at some point and take care of the process. So the way this works is we're going to do a for each loop is probably fine, actually. For each Moosecat data. And then we will. I almost want to pull those out later from the class that they're in, just so they're easier to get to. And that will be this. And in. But for now, we'll just leave it. Dot Moosecats. And then we're going to say rooms data dot room data equals. Oh, I'm just gonna grab this real quick. I'm looking at my own code and typing it back out for some inane reason. And then if room data does not equal null, Moosecat equals Moosecat data.moosecat. And then finally Moosecat dot child. I'm doing it again, but whatever. We're doing this. And then we go check here. Is that just passing through room? It is, which that's totally fine because we have that. All right. And it seems good. Let me just do a button here. So we can do our quick test case. Okay. And obviously you could do something like make a dictionary for storing the rooms so you can more efficiently find them, but it's, you know, it's a loading process. You can make a loading bar. Nobody's gonna know. It'll be fine. So we will load the rooms. We will load the cats. And then we will connect them. Hey! Awesome. So then finally, the last thing we need to do for these kitty cats is we're going to save some adventure data on them. We're going to select into the Great Woods. We're going to pick. Yeah, it's not what I thought it was. It is exactly what it should be, but what I was looking for was this. So we need to make this a button. We'll get there, team. We'll get there. Alright, so we will load the rooms, load the cats, connect the cats. We will Select the cat. Select an adventure. Go to our editor. Add the Moosecat to the adventure. That was the bottom one. We will go... Oh, we actually get to look at its data. We see that it's assigning properly. So now we'll switch to another cat. Go down to our adventures editor. Add the cat. Then we'll save. Check their data. We see that it is excellent. And then we'll go through the process real quick. Wait, we're one shy of a full house here. And then get rid of this. You gonna open up? Thank you. Do a little bit of that. Oh my goodness. And similar to before, we are two classes or two game objects shy of a full house. And we're gonna say, oh, we can just do that exact same thing in the other class, from the other class. Which again, we may find over time that we can consolidate these things as long as it's intuitive and everything keeps their one job and, you know, you can unit test it all, it's fine. So we got ventures data, venture data, venture data. That is data. Is that in my other notepad file over here? Nope. Okay. That's fine. Oh, we're good. We're good. And this is going to be dot title equals adventure name. I guess I should switch that to say adventure title at some point, but you know what? We're just going to let it slide. Totally fine. And if adventure data does not equal null, we will grab the cat. And what do we need to do from here? We probably need a game event. Because if we go look at the cat connector, it's doing its work through one of the two things that's here. But for here, we want private game event on request add Moosecat to adventure. You might say to yourself, what's that do? I'm kidding, you didn't say that at all. On request Moosecat to adventure raise. And the thing that we would need to do, private selected Moosecat. Selected Moosecat. Adventure data variable. Selected adventure. We're going to use the exact same flow that the game does for this one. And then maybe we'll go back to the other one and fix that too. So what we want to do is set selected adventure dot value, set value to adventure data. And then we want to set selected Moosecat dot set value to Moosecat data. And then, actually I do that in here. We'll set the two values and then we'll call this event. And if we go back to our code here. We'll go down to our adventure editor. We'll add a child. Adventure editor events. And we will add, let's go find the adventure editor in here. Sure, we'll just put it in this same folder. And what do we call it? Request Moosecat. Why not just copy it, they say. Oh, that's a genius idea, I respond. And then we'll go down here and we'll say, boom, game event listener. If you are requesting to add a Moosecat, we will fire off the add Moosecat to adventure. And then up here, we'll go back to this adventure, this one. Wait. I never made one, huh? No, I did. It's just way down here. Let's move that up. Moosecat adventure connector. Pop that. Pop that. Pop that. Oh man, it's so fast. He can't get away with this. Okay. Load the rooms. Load the cats. Load the adventures. Oh, the cats aren't childing. We'll want to fix that. Oh, right, because we're not doing the right flow. Huh? Eh? Connect the cats to the rooms. Oh, never mind. We are doing the right flow. And then we will connect the... Well, we tried to connect them to the adventures, but the party count for the adventures had already been set. So what was happening is, when we go up here... So basically, things worked as expected. It's just that we don't want to set the party count when we do that set adventure data. Okay, so I'm leaving a note for myself. Correctly updated by other processes. That should be good. So if we stop it and restart it, once again, we'll move through the flow. Good, 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 and good. And we see the code working. Go up here, and we see the party count of both is 1 because we put 1 Moosecat in each one. Very nice. Alright, so it all works now. So we have managed to split out the code from a single massive class into 5 smaller ones. That way, if we have any issues, it's just all within a single thing. What we wanted to do, though, is on the room connector, we wanted to find where the other place this is happening is, which is room editor. So we actually want to use this function, which relies on these 2 values. So let's see here. This is not actually checking any of that. So in theory, we shouldn't need to either. And then we've got to do the private game event. We already have it set, so what are we calling it? Room editor on add Moosecat to room. On request. What do we call it in? I'm trying to get a similar naming convention to my classes or my things. On request add Moosecat to. That looks good. We can actually take that, save, go back over here. Because that's what we're doing. At this point, we're requesting that it happen. And then from there, we can say on request. And then the things that we need to set here is current room.setValue equals room data. And then selected Moosecat.setValue Moosecat data. So we update the values, the selected values, which again, we'll probably go backwards and make sure those are going through the selectors that we have, the room selector and the Moosecat selector. But I think we're still moving towards getting to that position of everything using the same pathway, so that if something works when you're loading it, you know it'll work when the player uses it, and vice versa. Yeah. Let's go try it out. Quick connections. And then we just gotta find room editor. Right, because yeah, we have a room selector and a Moosecat selector. Yeah. And those are currently passing through. I believe they send their object through. Ah, we actually would have a problem if we sent it through here, because we would. This is selecting it through the raycast that happens. So we would want to think about that. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to go backwards and edit other things just to fit that paradigm if it's not helpful. So, connect. Hey, they all connected. And then set the adventures, and they got set. Cool. So we'll want to do the same with the data saver. And then for these, we would likely have it would be either an event chain where as each one finishes, it loads the next one, or it would be just a loading parent that loads them. And you could even put them in start and have it on script execution order. All sorts of options. Whatever one we choose will be determined by whatever makes the most sense. I don't know what that is quite yet, but I'll think about it. And in the next video, I'll have watched the unit test stuff by then, and we'll actually automate that whole loading process so that anytime we want to test it in the future, we don't have to do it this way. Because doing it by hand each time is annoying. Having it all happen in a few milliseconds automatically would be much nicer. So yeah, well, I know at least one person did. If you watched here, cool. If you watched it elsewhere, thank you for that. And yeah, have a nice night.